Because I was coming here today from Washington, D.C., there was a song in my head. Those of you who grew up in Nigeria, that were, if you're as old as I am, maybe you know it. I want to sing it because it has something to do with what I'm about to say. Please, if you know it, join me. It goes a little bit like this. Akwụkwọ na so mona raho na mụta onye nwere nkasi obi ọ ga-amụta akwụkwọ bụrụ na nne gị na nna gị ọ bụrụ na nne gị na nna gị ị ga-amụta akwụkwọ achịrịmọchị ha 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 achịrịmọchị ha 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 biko kụpụrụ na ọnwụ n'aka. I'm glad that you remember that song because this book that our brother wrote, Dr. O.C. Obonna, sorry, Dr. O.C. Okeke. There's a reason why I said O.C. Obonna, because the last time we launched a book here 7 years ago was by O.C. Obonna. And I happen to be the one who reviewed that book as well. So pardon me for that. But I got an advanced copy of the book, and I read the book, all 85 pages of it, including the epilogue and the author's note. So I want to say a word or two about the book. But before I talk about the book, I want to say something about the man behind the book. A lot of you in this community, a lot of people in this community, we know Dr. Osita, Okeke. He is a philanthropist. He's here supporting everything that happens in this community. I go to this church here. OC is a Catholic, but there's nothing we do here in the Anglican community that he doesn't support. Everybody knows that. Every organization that does something in this community, he's most likely going to be the chairman. And he gives. But I'm not here today to praise Caesar. That's not why I'm here. That's the reason I'm telling you this. When you get to read the book, you will understand the man behind the book. The outside appearance that you see about OC, you will understand why he does the things he does and why he does it. He is quite possibly one of the kindest person you've ever met. I want to share a story with you. When his youngest daughter was born, I went to visit him in their house where they live now. And I remember when I went to the house, he was playing with his son. And they were singing, his young son, rolling on the floor, just singing, loud voice, having a good time. At that time, that was before they brought the little girl out. And OC had the little girl in his hand, and he would tickle her pinky, her little hand, and she would laugh out really loud. And I said, OC, your daughter is ticklish. She's so happy. She like this all the time. He says, she has a 6th finger. She has an extra finger. I said, OC, all my children has that. It's called a skin tag. You know, when they get to a certain age, we take them to the dermatologist and they remove it. But he was laughing so hard, he had tears of joy coming out of his eyes. And I kept saying to myself, this is the OC that people don't see. When you see him outside, he comes out, you know, like this, and then he gives money, 5,000, 10,000. But deep down, when you get to know him, you find out he's the most gentle, the nicest, kindest person you will ever meet. He is the most important thing to him, more than anything else in life, is his family. When you hear him talking about his children, the older ones, the younger ones, he can talk about them for hours. And I tell you this story because for those of you who don't know him, I want you to get this book before you leave tonight. After you read the book, you will understand. It's like peeling out an onion, removing the veil, opening the curtain, and seeing the man behind the mask. Because when you read it, you might think he said too much. Okay, for what they did here tonight, it's nothing compared to what you will see in the book. There are stories and stories and stories of all the things that happened as he was growing up. So make sure you get your copy tonight and read it so we can support him. The book itself is what we call an autobiography written in a third person, which means he told his story from the eyes of somebody else. So as they said tonight, some of the names, some of the places are fictional, but all the story behind it is factual. It's the story of his life. That's what you're going to see in the book. And so I know there are a couple of other people speaking tonight, so I won't take up all the time. I want to leave you with one thing. A few weeks ago, I saw him doing an interview about this book. Our brother here, Amobi, has a podcast that he does with his friend back there, Konetiwoku. And I actually enjoy that podcast. I encourage everybody to tune in on Fridays when they do it. And in the process of doing the interview, they asked him a question. They asked him, is this book original? Is it possible for somebody to write an original book without plagiarizing from somewhere else? In other words, here in Nigeria, what they're asking is, what is in this book? Why should I read it? What hasn't been said before? And the people who ask this question, may not even know how important the question is. But there's a lot of people in our community that have doctorate degree and PhD. I'm telling you, this is the biggest question you have to answer in any doctoral dissertation. What new does your research provide that nobody has ever done before? That is the basis of every doctoral dissertation. This book is not an academic work, but I can tell you that it has value. And I'm going to just share one story with you, and I'll end it at that. So in the book, he talks about what happened when he lost his wife. He had stepped away, come back from Durham, from where she was being treated, and that's when she passed. And his son Duke calls, and they're telling him she's passed. And then he comes up as a father to a son and starts saying, okay, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. And his son says, Dad, I've already done that. And he says, how about the paperwork? He says, everything's signed, we've made all the arrangements how to bring the body home. And the reason I share this story with you is, all of us here, most of us are parents. And as we raise our children, sometimes we doubt in our mind whether when the time comes, if they'll be able to rise to the challenge. And I want you to know, Makandi Bonase, na newu na ataji, onwe ya na emekene, nene anya n'ọnụ. I want you to know that our children are learning from us. And the time you will know this is when they are pushed. When the time comes, they will rise to the challenge. And that day, he felt that this is the man he has raised. And I want every one of us to know that our children are learning from us, they are listening to us. When you read this book, there are several antidotes like that you will find. So please, make sure you get your copy to support our brother tonight. I want to thank you for coming tonight. Thank you so much for coming.